Hey guys, welcome back to the Vile J channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you a deck profile for my favorite goat deck. It's mostly a goat control deck, but with a lot of my favorite tech cards, including the Ancient Gear Golem. So let's get on into it. So as you can see, we're playing an Ancient Gear Golem, and it seems a little weird, but he's really good for punching right through some goat tokens. Very nice. He's also easy to summon in this deck because of some other cards that we play to facilitate using this. So he doesn't brick as bad as you'd think, being a 2 tribute monster. 1 Jinzo. You know the drill. Jinzo, stop the traps. 1 Zaborg, the Thunder Monarch, for a little bit of removal, as well as his brother Mobius. 1 BLS is our Chaos Boss monster, as well as his nephew, the Chaos Sorcerer. Pretty sweet. I play a couple extra light targets to facilitate these Chaos monsters, so they're not always complete bricks. 2 of the Gravekeeper Spies. These guys help you get out the Ancient Gear Golem with the greatest of ease. I also play some Recruiters with the Mystic Tomato and Sangan. The Mystic Tomato has some sweet targets, like his friend Spirit Reaper, and the Sangan as well, which can get you into other fun cards, such as the Injection Fairy Lily, a cool card that threatens to beat over pretty much anything in the format with the 3400 attack. 1 Sinister Serpent for a little bit of recurability. Some extra light monsters in the Blade Knight and the Reflect Bounder. These guys are just kind of like utility pieces, but because they're lights, they really help with the cast package. Next, I'm playing a Tribe Infecting Virus, a DD Warrior Lady, and a Breaker the Magical Warrior. All pretty standard removal cards in the format, but they're awesome. Just a little bit of removal goes a long way. And then I'm playing 3 flip monsters in 2 Magician of Faiths and 1 Morphing Jar. I know Morphing Jar can be a little hit or miss in the format depending on what you're playing against. If you're playing against a Chaos matchup, this could really hurt you if you resolve this at the wrong time, or it can save your ass if you resolve it at the right time. So knowing when to use the Morphing Jar is pretty crucial. But it is pretty polarizing, and sometimes you telegraph it a little too hard if you don't use it right, so just important things to know. I really like the card though. I think it's a really fun card to resolve. For the spells and traps, I'm playing 3 of the Scapegoat. Gotta play 3 goats for the goat. Realistically, this always just keeps you in the game to see another turn, and I love that. And with more people playing Chaos, like, you really don't want to get rushed down by like a BLS or anything. You really like to wall up. And it goes really well with the 2 Metamorphosis for transferring them into different monsters, like the 1000 Dice Restrict. For facilitating those big tribute guys, I'm playing 2 Brain Controls. Pretty sweet. It's beautiful first edition alties. Yeah. And a Snatch Steal, of course. So that's going to be able to take our opponent's monsters, tribute them off, do our thing. And then for other removal, I got a Book of Moon and 2 Nobleman. These are just fantastic removal pieces, as well as a Lightning Vortex to round out the monster removal. For spell and trap removal, I have a Mystical Space Typhoon and a Heavy Storm, as well as a Dust Tornado. All 3 are pretty good in the main deck, especially these 2 because they can be used reactively, so you can kind of bait out your opponent's cards sometimes. Pretty cool. And then for reanimation, I have a Call of the Haunted and a Premature Burial. And then the rest of these fun spells and traps. So of course, can't be a goat deck without the trio. Delinquent Duo, Graceful Charity, and a Pot of Greed. And then for our main removal, we're doing Torrential Tribute and Ring of Destruction. And then for battle removal, we're going to do a Mirror Force and a Magic Cylinder. these are all pretty sweet, and I really enjoy using Magic Cylinder because it catches your opponent off guard sometimes. Especially if they're careless in the beginning of the game with like a Solemn Judgment, and you can really punish them. Very cool. And then to round out the cards in my main deck, 2 Trap Death Shoots. I was originally maining one of these, but the second one is just coming in almost every game. Rather, I was going first or second in games 2 or 3, and so I just decided to main 2, and I think I side the third. Alright. So next I'm going to show off my extra deck, which I guess doesn't really matter, but of course the 1000 dies are always going to be pretty relevant. Then for just conversions of like taking your opponent's monster and metamorphosing it away, you can do the Fire Knight. You can also put your Spirit Reaper in the graveyard to get this guy out, so you can put the Dark in the grave to do your Chaos Summon. Carbanola Warrior. This should probably be a Dark Flare Dragon, but I was using it for an Edison deck for a little instant fusion combo. But yeah, Dark Flare Dragon's probably a better choice overall. Fiend Skull Dragon, Dark Balter, Ryushi, the big old Dark Blade Dragon, Ojama King, Last Warrior, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, and Gatling Dragon. Pretty cool. So those are pretty much all the relevant cards for the fusion deck. Obviously you need your goats for goats. And then the sideboard, Rebo, Tsukiyomi, Zero Priest. These are pretty nasty cards in certain matchups. And then you need this for your Reasoning Gate matchup. Air Knight Parshath comes in against cast or goat controls, so you can punch to their goats even easier than just with your Ancient Gear Golem. A small warrior package in the side, using 1 reinforcements to search out Exiled Force and Mystic Swordsman, as well as the DD Warrior Lady in the main, and the Blade Knight. 2 Mystic Walk. This is just for burn decks, as well as the Swords of Revealing Light. I'd rather them not punch me with the big panda, especially because they don't really play as much removal. It's like, okay, go ahead and put the Trunade back in my hand, or use the Trunade to put the swords back in my hand. I'll have the Karibo lined up, hopefully stop your one attack and put the swords back out for next time. It doesn't always work out that way, but wishful thinking, right? 1 Judgment in the side. I just added this card. I'm just trying it out. I don't know how it's going to go. It's the only card that's pretty much different from my Nationals list from, where was it this year? Indianapolis? It was pretty sweet. 1 Sakuratsu Armor. I actually picked this up from Robbie Cole in a trade. That was a really expensive trade. We ended up doing like a $500 or $600 trade, I'm pretty sure, with a mixture of like foreign Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Vanguard cards. Very nice, very nice. 1 Royal Command to stop all them flip effects, and then 2 Royal Decree for those super heavy trap decks. Pretty sweet goat deck overall. I'm not really sure how to innovate it further, so I'm welcome to, like, open to suggestions, but I love it. It just plays all of my favorite cards in one deck. Just a pile of good stuff, if you will. Not to mention I get to play all like my favorite foreign OCG cards. Super cool. Yep. Valenness rules.